Our clients pay $2,000 to $5,000 each month for this Facebook ad setup. It's made them over $1 million. I'm going to give you the entire system for free in this video. I'm going to walk you through step by step how to set up your own Facebook ads for your med spa so you can start making money as soon as possible. If you do what this video says, it could change your life, just like it did for these people.
I was making under $2,000 a month when I first started.
So what did you make 4 months later?
I just tapped out at 30K.
And then my revenue for January was a little bit over 2K.
Last month we finished out July. So can you let everyone know what your revenue for July was 5 months later?
So my revenue 5 months later for July was $106,000.
All right, so if that sounds good to you, then let's get started with the Med Spa Ads Masterclass. This is going to be a step-by-step guide that's going to take you from a complete beginner to getting your first ad campaign live before the end of this video. And here's what we're going to cover. Why advertise on Meta, the 4 things you need to start advertising, how to create your first campaign, how to decide your budget, and how to optimize your campaigns. So why would you want to advertise on Meta in the first place? Well, paid ads are by far the fastest way to scale your med spa. They are much faster than organic methods in the beginning, such as word of mouth and content. And the reason I say in the beginning is because paid ads are linear growth and organic is exponential. So organic is actually very slow in the beginning, but really fast a few years down the line if you do it right. And paid ads is very fast in the beginning and stays consistently good, but it's not exponential. So this video isn't telling you to use one instead of the other. You should definitely use both because that's the best combination. And you saw how quickly these med spa owners were able to scale. So you know just how quickly paid ads can grow your med spa. But what I think is even more shocking is where they think they would be if they didn't use paid ads to scale their med spa. What do you think you'd be at in terms of monthly revenue?
Honestly, I think I would have quit. And I'm not a quitter. Like, I'm really not. But there's just, if you don't see the people coming in and you're just like kind of, putting the time in, because I would have still had to be working. I think I would have still been having to work as a bedside nurse and still trying to do this. I probably would have quit. And now here I am, like I'm actually able to consider like moving into a bigger space.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe hiring, like getting to hire somebody. This is all like a few months out, but this is just all stuff I would have never, I wouldn't have even been able to fathom it before I started.
All right, well, it's a good thing he didn't quit. Say 6
Well,
months.
it would be anywhere close to 100K in a month. That would have taken a really long time. I think, the story is like rare that you find someone can go from 2K to 100K in a few months. So it wouldn't have been possible without ads. Maybe in a few years.
As well as being the quickest way, paid ads are actually fairly simple to learn. There's over $100 billion spent on ads each year, and that number continues to grow. So that means that not just a few people are succeeding, but millions and millions of people are already succeeding. So you definitely can too if you follow along closely. Facebook actually wants you to succeed with your ads, because if you do, they do too. So they've made it as easy as possible to win on their platforms. Also, ads are much easier to track than content, because with content, how do you actually know which posts are getting you sales compared to just likes and laughs? Ads let you track exactly which one gets which sale, and also the clicks, the views, etc. As well as being the quickest way, paid ads are actually fairly simple to learn. There's over $100 billion spent on ads each year, and that number continues to grow. So that means that not just a few people are succeeding, but millions and millions of people are already succeeding. So you definitely can too if you follow along closely. Facebook actually wants you to succeed with your ads, because if you do, they do too. So they've made it as easy as possible to win on their platforms. Also, ads are much easier to track than content, because with content, how do you actually know which posts are getting you sales compared to just likes and laughs? Ads let you track exactly which one gets which sale, and also the clicks, the views, etc. Now, a quick note, some ads that get the most likes have very few sales, and some ads that have a lot of sales get very few likes. And this is why content can be a bit tricky and confusing to track, because you might get a lot of likes on a certain post and you say, okay, I should probably make more of that solid content. But there's no guarantee that that type of content is actually making you sales. With ads, you're not going to have that issue. So here's a quick recap of why you would want to advertise on Meta. It's the fastest way to scale, it's easy to track, and it's simple to learn. So that wraps up why you'd want to advertise on Meta. Now, let's talk about the 4 things that you need to start advertising. All right, the first thing you need to start advertising on Meta is a Facebook page. And this is going to be the page where your ads will run from. And even if you only want to run your campaigns on Instagram, you will actually still need a Facebook page to set this all up. Now, I want to give you a bonus tip. If you've been boosting posts on Instagram, that is not the same thing as creating ad campaigns that would run on Instagram. Creating campaigns within Meta is actually a lot better than boosting on Instagram for many reasons. For example, boosting only lets you promote posts that you've already made. But with campaigns on Meta, you can test many different variations of content that is brand new and isn't on your page yet. Another one is that boosting limits the objective that you want to things like engagement, website visits, and awareness. And you might want those things, but more commonly, you're going to want things like getting leads and getting sales for your med spa so you can actually make money, which campaigns are going to let you do, as well as other things. And another thing is that with campaigns, the tracking is much better in terms of the metrics for the quality and quantity of metrics that you can track. So with boosting, they're going to let you track things like engagement, reach, and clicks. With campaigns, you can track the cost per lead, the cost per click, even the cost of getting a booking for your med spa. So you can easily say, okay, it cost me this much to get a customer and I want to hit this goal for monthly revenue. I know exactly how much I need to spend to hit that. Boosting wouldn't let you know that. It would just give you a lot of likes and followers and not many conversions. All right, so back to the 4 things we need to start advertising. The Facebook page is the first. Secondly, is going to be the Meta Business Suite. This is where all your assets are going to be held, such as your Facebook page, your Instagram account, your ad account, and your payment method. The third thing you need to start advertising is the ad account. This is the account where all of your campaigns are going to run. And then the fourth thing you need is a valid payment method so that you can actually make your ads live and start running them. All right, so step 1 is to create a Facebook page. I know a lot of you already have a Facebook page, but if you don't, you can set one up by going to facebook.com/pages/create. Select business or brand, then start entering information about your business. Make sure you add a profile and a cover picture, create a page username, and add in some business details like your location, your hours, your website, etc. Give it as much information as possible so that they know that you are a real med spa and you're not someone trying to be shady, and that way they won't shut down your account. All right, now you have the first thing you need to start advertising, which is the Facebook page. Let's move on to the second one, which is the Meta Business Suite. So what is the Meta Business Suite? It's essentially the hub where all of your assets that you need to advertise are contained. So if you think about your wallet, for example, that contains your credit card, might have your ID, and it might have some cash. The Meta Business Suite is like a wallet for everything you need to start advertising. So that holds your payment method, it holds your Instagram page, it holds your Facebook page, and it holds your ad account. It keeps all those things together so that you can advertise with those resources. To set up your Meta Business Suite, search for business.facebook.com. Click on Create New Account, and then you can select Sign Up with Facebook. And since you already have a Facebook account, because we created a page, you can click on Already Have Account. Then you can log into your Facebook and you'll be good to go to create the Meta Business Suite. Now, when you're in the Meta Business Suite, you'll know because it says it in the top left corner, and you'll be on business.facebook.com. And the first thing you want to do is click on the drop down in the top left corner and click on Create a Business Portfolio. And then you can name this whatever you want. Most commonly, it's going to be the name of your med spa. Then fill in your contact information. It's going to send you an email that you can verify. Once that's done, your business portfolio will be created. So now your Meta Business Suite is set up. The third thing we need to start advertising is your ad account. The ad account is where you make the ads that your audience is going to see when they're actually scrolling on Instagram and Facebook. Quickly, if you're finding this video useful, share it with another MedSpa owner who knows they should probably start running ads but has been too scared to do it. All right, to create an ad account, when you're in the business suite, click on settings in the bottom left corner. Look for where it says accounts on the left. Click on add accounts, then click the blue button that says add in the top right corner. Create a new ad account. Type in your account name, which can be anything that you want, and try have your currency and your time zone to be the same. So if I wanted to do Eastern time zone in the US, I want to have US dollars as my currency. Sometimes they don't let you change this, so make sure it's right from the beginning. Hit next and go through all the steps. It's really straightforward. And once that's all done, your ad account will be created. Now, the last thing we want to do with the ad account is link our Instagram and Facebook pages so that we can run ads from there with this new ad account that we just made. So to link the Facebook page, right above the ad account we just created on the left, click on pages. Click the blue add button again in the top right, and then click add an existing Facebook page. Then put the name of the Facebook page that you just created now, or the one you already had, and then go ahead and link that to your ad account. All right, that's the Facebook page connected. Next, you want to link your Instagram account. Back to the left side, you'll see Instagram accounts, and then click on that. The blue add button again, click add. Agree to the terms, then click claim Instagram accounts. Then it's going to ask you to log into your Instagram. Once that's done, you'll be good to go and it'll be connected to your ad account. All right, we're almost finished. We've done the Facebook page, the business suite, the ad account. Now it's just the payment method, and then we can start advertising. To add a payment method, go to the left side where it says billing and payments. Click on that. Then go to payment methods on the left. Then you want to select the ad account that you just created. Then you should see the blue button that says add payment method. Then you can put whichever payment method of choice that you want to use. I'd recommend using one that is always going to have funds, because if your ads keep turning on and off and on and off, that volatility can actually get your ad account suspended. I'd also try to avoid PayPal and only use sources that are always going to have funds in there and aren't going to make your ads turn off consistently. All right, those are the 4 things that you need to start advertising. So we've wrapped up that section. Next, we're going to talk about how to create your first campaign. All right, so to create your first campaign, when you're in the business suite, click on Ads Manager on the left side. And if you don't see it, it will be in all tools. Then select campaigns. And here you're going to see campaigns, ad sets, and ads. So let me quickly explain what each of these 3 layers means. So at the top level, we have the campaign, and this is where you're going to pick your advertising objective. So let's say, for example, I want to run an ad and I want to get leads or sales for my med spa. I'd select that at the campaign level because that's the objective. Next is the ad set level, and this is where you select your targeting, your budget, and the placement of your ads. So for example, if I wanted to target women over 30 and I wanted to do that on Facebook and Instagram Reels with a budget of $10 per day, all of this would be selected at the ad set level. So over 30, that's my targeting. Facebook and Instagram Reels, that's my placement. And $10 a day, that's my budget. And inside every campaign, you can have multiple ad sets. So you can target different people on different budgets, on different placements, all within the same campaign objective of getting leads or sales for your med spa. And then finally is the ad. This is what you're going to actually see when you're on Instagram or Facebook scrolling. This is the image or video itself. In advertising, that's called your creative. As well as that, you're going to have all the text that goes around your creative, which is called the copy. Now, I used to think copywriting was that little logo thing when you claim ownership, but it's actually not that. It's all the text that goes around any kind of marketing material like your ad or a website in this case. And you can have multiple ads within an ad set. So campaign is at the top. Inside the campaign, you can have multiple ad sets. where you choose different targeting, different budgets, different placements. And inside every one of those ad sets, you can have multiple ads. So I could have, for example, a campaign that I want to get sales with. And then inside that campaign, I have two different ad sets. Let's say one is for men and one is for women. And one's on $20 a day, one's on $30 a day. And one's on Instagram, the other one's on Facebook, right? And then within those, I have multiple ads, right? One of them for males, one for females. So you can see how those different layers work with these different options. All right, so now that we defined the 3 layers, let's go ahead and actually create the campaign. So click the green create button to start with the campaign objective. Now, 90% of the time that you run any ads for a brick and mortar business that sells services like a med spa, you're going to be selecting leads or sales. I always use leads, but I know some people who also have successful ads do opt for sales sometimes. For this one, I'm going to go with leads. Next, it's going to ask if you want to use their recommended settings or if you want to create the campaign manually. There are some instances that you want to let Facebook do its thing where it's really good at it, but for the sake of the campaign, I like to do this one manually. So I'm going to select manual leads campaign. Now you want to name your campaign. You can name it whatever you want. It doesn't affect the performance in any way. It's more so for you to track how your ads are doing and you can differentiate which one is which. I'll just name this one February filler promo because we're in February at the moment. So the campaign is very straightforward. You don't need to change anything else here, and especially make sure you don't change that campaign objective, which is getting leads, because if you do that, it changes the entire campaign objective. So next is the ad set level. So if you remember, this is where we select the targeting, the budget, and the placement for where people are going to see our ads. So first, go ahead and name your ad set. I normally name it based on the targeting and the placement, but it's not super important. So for example, if I'm targeting women in a 15-mile radius of my med spa, I would put women 15 miles. And if I was using reels and stories for the placement, I'd type that in. Now, when it comes to the conversion location, there's a few different options. The first one is the website. This is if you want to get leads to click a link and just go ahead and book themselves in directly with your med spa. I would say if you're a beginner, you're not going to get as many conversions that way as contacting them personally. The second option with the website is if you have a landing page on that website and a lead puts their contact information in there, you get notified and then you call or text them from that landing page. Secondly is instant forms. This is also a really good option. It's like a landing page, but it's built directly into Facebook or Instagram. So the leads don't have to leave the platform if they want to fill in their information. The downside with this is that it automatically fills in the contact information. So sometimes people don't even have their own correct phone number or email linked to them. So it autofills and then you call or text them and they say, oh, that wasn't me that opted in. It was somebody else, wrong number, and things like that. But it is very good for an easy way to get started. Next is Messenger. This is if you want to get people to talk to you on Facebook Messenger. After that, we have instant forms and Messenger. So that would be the built-in forms on Facebook and Instagram combined with the Messenger chats on Facebook. That would be if you don't want to call or text your leads via SMS or their phone number, and you want to do it on Facebook Messenger instead. We also have Instagram, which is if you want to get people to DM you on Instagram when they click on your ad. Then we have WhatsApp if you want to call or text on WhatsApp. And we have calls. This is if you want to get people to call your business instead of you calling them. I would not recommend this one because people don't want to call you. You should be calling them, right? And then the last one is an app, which if you do have a med spa, I'm assuming you don't have an app, so we can just ignore that one. To continue on with this tutorial, I'm going to select instant forms because it's the easiest one to do for now. But later on in the video, when I talk about how to optimize your ads to make them even better, I'm going to be using the landing pages, which is going to be the website option. That's going to make your lead quality a little bit better than with the instant forms. Make sure you select the Instagram and Facebook page here that you want to run the ads on. And also make sure you accept Meta's terms here. If you don't agree to them, it's not going to let you publish your ad and make it live. For the performance goal, it's going to ask if you want to maximize the number of leads or if you want to maximize for conversions. Conversions sounds better, but in my experience, leads pretty much always does better when I pick for the highest volume and not conversions. Cost per result, you don't have to touch anything there, as well as delivery type. If you do have the option to change it, don't. Okay, now we're going to talk about how to decide your budget, since that is part of creating your first campaign. So when it comes to deciding the budget, what a lot of people will do is they'll say, I only want to spend a certain amount. So they'll just pick a random number like $100 and they'll click on lifetime budget. And once it spends that amount, their ads just stop running. And I've spoken to hundreds of med spa owners, and a lot of them have already ran ads. And I like to ask them if those ads were profitable. And for a lot of them, they were profitable. And when I asked them why they stopped running them, they're just like, oh, I didn't want to spend too much. But here's the thing you need to realize. If you're the type of person that consumes stuff like this and you actually want to grow, you're eventually going to become good at making money. So you're going to know how to advertise, just like the millions of other people who are doing it successfully. So if you're making a profit, why would you want to stop making money and limit it to a lifetime budget? So I never do a lifetime budget. I always do a daily budget because I already have the expectation that this is going to make money and it's going to continue making money as long as I keep improving it. So if you're thinking, okay, I'll do the daily budget, but how much should I spend per day? It really depends. If you're brand new and you're testing, a good rule of thumb for how much to test with is at the bare minimum is 50% of the thing that you want to sell. But ideally, you want to spend the same amount as the thing that you're selling for your first test. So what do I mean by that? Let's say I sell a syringe of filler for $500. The minimum I would want to test with is $250. Because if you go much lower than that, yes, you might still get a booking, but you need to remember in this first phase of testing, we're not trying to make money. We're trying to become a good advertiser so that we can create a system that we know, okay, no matter what, every single month, I can at least make X amount because of the skill that I've built. And if I want to sell something for $500, for example, and I only gave Facebook $20 or $30 to test with, it's not going to give me enough feedback and data to know what I'm actually doing. And it's not going to improve my skills at all. So bare minimum, 50% of what I'm selling, ideally 100%. Now, some people are going to say, okay, I'll spend that 50%, but I'm going to do that with $3 a day. And that's completely fine. You can do that. The only difference that I will say, spending a big amount versus a small amount per day, is it's going to take you longer to get the same exact results. So if we had one person spending $30 a day and another person was spending $3 a day, the person on $30 a day is going to get feedback and they're going to get bookings 10 times faster than the person on $3 per day. So spend as much as you're comfortable with risking, because yes, you are investing here and there's no guarantee. But if you get good enough, you will be confident that you can always advertise and make money. And if you want to play it safe and go on a really small budget, that's fine. But if you have the funds to spend, the question that you need to ask yourself is, if I could build a machine that consistently generates bookings for my med spa and I always know I'm going to make money, would I rather wait a year to have that system built, or do I want to do it in a month? So once you pick your daily budget, make sure that you deselect the end date, because we're going to be making money here. So we don't want that to come to an end. Budget scheduling, you don't have to touch. All right, when it comes to audience controls, click edit location, and then just type in your med spa's location. For the radius, there's no hard rule here, but a general rule of thumb that I use is I want to have bare minimum around 300,000 people in where it says the estimated audience. So that usually ends up being anywhere from 5 to 25 miles. Closer to 5 miles if it's in a really densely populated area like New York City, and more like 25 miles if it's somewhere with less people. But most commonly, I'm going with a 10 to 15 mile radius. When you hit show more options, it's going to ask you if you want to edit the minimum age. You could change that if you think that your audience is 30 plus, but I'll say it doesn't really matter because Facebook's automatic targeting is very good. And if most of your audience is 30 plus and you leave it to 18 all the way up to 65, it's not going to spend money showing it to people that don't want your services. So you don't need to worry too much about those settings. Next is Advantage Plus audience. Anytime you see Advantage Plus in these settings, it just means that Facebook is going to automatically do what they want instead of you manually changing it yourself. Sometimes I like it for certain areas and others I don't. When it comes to the audience, I switch to the original audience options majority of the time. And when you do that, you're going to have more flexibility with the age that you're targeting and the gender. And now that I have the option to target by gender, this is really dependent on how your audience is. Some of my clients, less than 1% of their audience is males, so I don't even bother wasting any ad spend showing it to men, and I'll just turn it to female only. But with some other ones, it's a decent split, and I'll just leave it on all genders. Advantage detailed targeting, that's going to reach people that are outside of any interests that you add here. I wouldn't put any interest for now. You can just leave it as is because it's already good by default. You can also skip the A/B test for now. All right, the next thing is the placements. This is where your ad is going to show up. So by default, it's going to be on the Advantage Plus, which again means automated settings by Facebook. I typically turn this off, but when it does that, it puts it on all placements and then it starts spending it on the ones that people are using the most. Then when you click on it, you'll see the options for Facebook, Instagram, Audience Network, and Messenger. Honestly, I don't even know what Audience Network is, but I always turn that off and I always turn off Messenger. So it's always Facebook and Instagram that I'm using primarily. Sometimes I'll use all the placements on Facebook and Instagram, but majority of the time, I'm only using these 6, which is the Facebook feed, the Instagram feed, the Facebook story, the Instagram story, the Facebook reel, and the Instagram reel. And everything that isn't those 6, I would deselect them. And once you've selected the placements, that's everything that you need to touch as far as the ad set level. Now we're going to move on to the third and last layer, which is the ad itself. And I know up until now, I've kind of said, oh, the campaign's not super important. It's quick to set up. And with the ad set, it's also not super important how you select the targeting. But with the ad itself, this is by far the most important part. This is where 90% of your effort is going to go. And this is where you actually make money and your skill as an advertiser is actually going to show. And it's not just going to be Meta doing all the heavy lifting for you, like with the ad set and the campaign level. So pay very close attention to this part specifically because this is the most important part. So first of all, name your ad whatever you want. Make sure you select the right Facebook page and Instagram account that you want this specific ad to run from. Then go down to the ad setup. It's going to ask if you want to use a single image or a single video or a carousel that has multiple images or videos together that people can slide through. Either of these works. I tend to do single images or videos, but I would not say that it's better. It's just a personal preference for me. I turn off multi-advertiser ads. When you click on Add Creative, it's going to ask if you want to use an image or a video ad. With these, neither of them is better than the other. An image is simple, but simple by no means it's worse. Our clients have made tens of thousands of dollars in monthly revenue with both of these options. So definitely use both of these. For this demonstration, I'm going to go with an image ad. And you're going to see that it's going to ask for the copy you want to put in your ad. So it's going to ask for your primary text and your headline. Now, here's a huge bonus tip to get good at writing copy and finding creative inspiration, which is that you can actually view other people's ads that are running right now today and the ones that are making money. And you can use these to figure out what to run for your own ads. This might be the biggest bonus that I've given in the whole video. To see other people's ads, what you want to do is search for Facebook Ads Library. The first thing to select is the region. You can click all if you want to see the whole world, or you can click your specific country if you just want to see your country. I like to do all to see what's working best globally. Then add category, also put all. Then you can search for your keyword. So let's say I wanted to look for people who are running lip filler ads. This is going to be really useful because if you're in a city where you know that somebody else across the street is running ads and you want to be a little bit nosy and see what they're doing, this is how you can do that. So once you do that, you can go ahead and scroll through and you'll get a good idea of what people are running for their ads in terms of the creative and the copy. And I think honestly, one of the most useful aspects of this is just breaking the belief that running ads has to be something that's intimidating or scary. When you look at these, you're going to see that, oh, these are very simple and it's something that you could do yourself. And by no means is it rocket science. Now I want to show you another tip to make this even better, which is where you can filter to see the ads that have been running the longest, because some of these ads just went live today. So there's no way to know that it's already making money. But if someone has been spending money on an ad for a month or 2 months, then you know that those ones are definitely doing well. And you can decide that you only want to use those ones for inspiration. So to do this, click on filters in the top right, then scroll down to the dates. Make sure it's on active ads, by the way, so it's only the ones that are running now. Then click back from about a month from today's date. Then pick a day. Now this is going to show me the ads that are currently still active from at least a month ago. That's going to narrow down the results even further, and you can decide that you want to take inspiration only from the ads that you have a pretty high likelihood are already making money. By the way, if you want one-on-one help setting any of this up, just click the first link in the description. So going back to the ad, I was saying that I like to keep my best copy in a document. So it would look like this, for example, and I would write my best headlines as well as my best primary text in this document. So the primary text is the long part of the text, and then you've got the headline. The description isn't very important. It's the primary and the headline that are the most important. And actually the headline by far is the most important. So you want to put about 80 to 90% of your effort into the headline. Because if you have the best primary text in the world, but your headline sucks, nobody's even going to read to the point that they get to see all the benefits that you've included in the primary text. So definitely put 80 to 90% of your effort into making a great headline / offer. So when you get a good idea of the headlines and the primary text that you want to use based on the research you did with that bonus tip of using the ad library, write them out in this document and test them, because that's all we're doing with advertising. We're testing which different ways can I say these words that are going to make me the most money. That's all we're doing. And if you still don't know what to write for your text, I've made a template that you can follow for a general rule of thumb for things that you would like to include in most of your ads. So first of all, you want to call out your audience. So typically you'll do that with the city that they're in. And if you wanted to call out ladies, you could also do that. But most importantly, just call out the city. That's the first thing. Secondly, you want to outline some kind of problem or painful thing that they might be dealing with that your solution would help with. Then you want to mention your solution. Then you want to list some benefits of the solution. I also always like to do some kind of seasonal promotion. I like to say a season or a reason, because if you're just running a promotion and you don't say why, it's just like you're just discounting. We don't know when it's going to end. We don't know why you're doing it. It kind of just gives off the vibe that you always run discounts and you just want to get customers desperately. And guess what? Even if that's true and you always run discounts, it doesn't really matter. If you make it seem like you don't always run discounts, you'll still get customers. So we always run promotions, but we'll just change the name and the wrapper and give it a reason as to why we're doing it this month and not every single day of the year. Another great bonus is if you limit it with scarcity or urgency. So we say something like limited to the first 10 people who opt in or ends by this date. That would be great. It gives people a reason to buy it now instead of delay it to some point in the future. And finally, every ad that you make, you want to have a call to action. So don't just list the benefits of your thing, list them. And while they're interested, spell it out for them that they have to do this if they want to buy your service. Because people have a very high level of interest for a very small amount of time. So make sure you don't leave them confused as to how to even claim the thing that you got them interested in. So always put a call to action. Okay, the next step is to add your creatives. So I went ahead and put some stock images in just to demonstrate. But when you're running your own ads, I highly recommend you don't use stock images. Use your actual clients before and afters, because anyone else can run stock images and it's going to be difficult to compete if you're the same as everyone else. Then it's going to ask you to crop these to fit on placements that you selected. Now, normally if I'm running a square image like this, I would only select the feed placement, but for this demonstration, I do have the other one selected, but it's fine. You can just go ahead and click next if it fits on that placement. By the way, another quick tip is if your ads say the words before and after, they have a really high likelihood of getting rejected. Whereas if you take the words before and after out and use the same image, it's very unlikely that your ads will get rejected. All right, so on to the next step, which is the enhancements. There's a lot of these. Most of the time, I honestly just turn all of them off. Sometimes I like using the overlay if it's Instagram, because the headline option isn't as good on Instagram. But a lot of times I won't use any of them. And yeah, for the most part, I leave these off because they kind of mess with the creative that I already thought was very good that I picked out, and it makes all these different edits to them. The most important thing with your creative is to pick one that's really good and doesn't need all these fancy enhancements. Because at the end of the day, if you chose a really bad creative and you try to put all this stuff on it, it's still not going to do well. It's like the saying, putting lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig. Once you're done there, you can go ahead and click done. And now your ad is set up. Now that your ad is set up, the last thing you need to do is create a form so that the people who see your ad can give you their contact information and you can message them. So click on create forms under instant forms. Then you can name the form whatever you want to name it, and you can leave it on more volume. Click next. For the background image, I usually do include one, and I use the same one as my ad because the more congruent everything is in your process, the better your conversions are going to be. Now, don't upload an image and make it be some random image, even if it's of you standing there like in your med spa. That's nice, but it's not congruent. Try to make everything the exact same thing that the person just clicked on. For the greeting, which is optional, for the headline, you can just put the same thing that was in your ad to give it that same congruency. So we can put $100 off lip filler if that was what our headline was in the ad. Now for the text in the form, I'm just going to go ahead and copy the benefits that were listed in my ad into that form. Again, you can see I'm trying to be as congruent as possible with this form. Click next. For the description above contact information, you can just put contact info. Anything you write doesn't make a difference. Now for the information that you need, by default, it's going to get their full name and their email address. Make sure you add their phone number too, because all of the med spas that I work with are either calling or texting their leads. They're not really communicating with them on emails. The next thing it's going to ask you for is a privacy policy. Now, this takes about 5 to 10 minutes to make, but something I found out is that it doesn't get checked. So I just put your website in and it will be fine. Click next. Then it's going to ask you for the last message for the leads once they submit the form. And I typically put something like almost done. And then I let them know that the last step is that we're going to be reaching out to them either with a call or a text. So I type that in, that be on the lookout for a call from us or a text. And if you want to make them even more familiar with who you are, you can also add the phone number that you're going to be calling or texting from so that they know it's you. Now, with the additional action, I often just like to put the website. You can kind of also put your Instagram in here, and you can just put the call to action that people can check out your Instagram. So that way, while they're waiting for a call or text from your business, they're on your page looking through your work and staying as a warm lead instead of going off somewhere else and forgetting who you are. All right, now once that's done, that's everything for the ad setup. Once you click publish, your ads are going to go into review, and as long as no rules have been broken, they're going to go live in a few hours and they'll start spending money. All right, we have covered a lot in this video. We talked about why to advertise in Meta, the 4 things you need to start advertising, how to create your first campaign, how to decide your budget. The last thing we're going to talk about is how to optimize your campaign, mainly for the 2 most common areas that I see, which is people don't have enough leads or they have enough leads, but the quality of those leads is very bad. So, how to optimize your campaigns. So, most people try things once, then say they didn't work. But it's never really a question of did it work or did it not work. It's how well did it work. Beginners only measure their success based on if they made a sale or not. But experts measure every single step that gets them closer to a sale. So they measure success based on every little win they get, and each time a step is improved, not just the end result. So think of it like a bridge, where on the other side of it is the money that you want. And you need many bricks to complete this bridge and cross. So for example, getting leads would be a brick. Then closing those leads and getting them to actually book an appointment would be another brick. And then actually getting them to show up for their appointment would be yet another brick. And there are many different examples that I could give of bricks that are required to make a sale. And it's only when all of these pieces are in place that you actually get to the point of making money. But if you're not making money right now, don't give up just because your bridge is missing some bricks, because you might be a lot closer than you think. You see, the way a bridge works is you can have 90% of the work done. It still doesn't mean you're going to be able to cross. So just because you've made $0, it doesn't mean you've made 0 progress. You could actually be 90% of the way there. So here's how to optimize your campaigns to fill in some of the common missing bricks, aka the areas that people usually have that are stopping them from making sales. I'm going to talk about how to optimize for these 2 common problems. The first one is not enough leads, and the second one is enough leads, but a lot of bad leads. So for the first one, not enough leads, the solution to this one 100% of the time is to test more creatives and offers and to spend more. Because if you test more creatives and offers, you are going to get a winner. It's guaranteed. And if you have a winner that's still not getting you enough leads, the solution is definitely that you're not spending enough money on that winner. And if you're thinking how much more, think up to 10 times more. Now, obviously, that doesn't have to be an instant change, but what's stopping you from 10xing your business if you 10x your ads? I've had many people who were just used to spending $10 a day on their ads, and for whatever reason, they didn't think they could go up to $100 a day or even $200 a day. And we do it, and guess what? They make way more money. All right, now for the second one, which is getting a lot of bad leads. We are going to fix this one by adding more friction into your process so that only serious people can opt into your ads and not the time wasters. By the way, this is going to increase your lead cost, but the quality of each lead is going to be better. And we're going to do this by creating a landing page for people to opt in. So if you remember from before, I did say that we're going to be talking about landing pages because they get you more qualified leads, mainly because their contact information needs to be entered in manually. So it's a lot more likely that they're actually entering the right phone number and email instead of the autofill where it can be wrong a lot of the times. Now to set up my landing page, I'm going to be using 3 things. The first is a Facebook pixel, which I'll show you how to set up. Secondly, is going to be a website to host this page. I'm going to be using Go High Level and I'm going to link it below. It's free for 14 to 30 days if you sign up. And the third thing is a place to contact the leads that are opting in, which I'm also going to do in Go High Level. So to set up your pixel, the first thing you want to do is go back to your business suite. Then go to settings in the bottom left. Look for where it says data sources and click on that. And then click on where it says data sets. I know we're setting up a pixel, but for some reason, they named it data sets. So click on that one, not the pixels. Now, when you're in data sets, click on the blue add button in the top right. Then you can name your pixel whatever you want. So now your pixel is created, and now you're going to want to link this to your website. So to do that, click on the 3 dots and click on Open in Events Manager. Then you want to click on Set up Metapixel. Pick Install Code manually. Go ahead and copy that code. Then I'm going to paste this code into our website. Like I said, where I'm going to be hosting my website is going to be with Go High Level, which I'll link below. I'm not going to go through all of the features of Go High Level in this video because it's a lot and I can't cover it. But basically, you can contact your leads here, you can track your bookings, and you can set up websites and landing pages and a million more other things. But for the landing page, first thing you want to do is click on Sites on the left side, click on New Funnel, then go ahead and name your funnel from blank. Then hit Create, then click Add New Step. Again, name this page whatever you want. Click on Create Funnel Step, then click on Create from blank. And from here, the first thing you want to do is connect your domain. Now, all the website traffic that you currently get isn't going to go here. You can just put a slash in your current URL. So you can put yourmedspa/lip-filler-form, for example. So once you connect your domain, you can set this up. All you need to do is drag a section from the left onto the page, then click on that section and add a column. Then go ahead and add an element, which is going to be a headline in this case. Then again, with the congruency, write the same thing on this headline for the landing page as what you had in your ad. So if it was $100 off lip filler, put that on your landing page too. Then click on the green plus, add another section. You can just drag it, add another column, then add an element and search for form. And then it's going to say you don't have any forms. And if you wish to add a new form, click here. So click on that. Now we'll quickly set up the form that the leads are going to fill in to give us their contact information. So add a form, start from scratch. You can just name it whatever you want. I'll call this one lip filler form. By default, it's going to have first name, last name, phone, and email, and some kind of consent agreement that the lead needs to confirm with. And we could leave all that as is if we wanted. The good thing about this is that this form is already going to be better than the instant forms from Facebook and Instagram, because the leads have to manually type in this information, whereas on Instagram forms, or instant forms rather, it's automatically filled and it could be incorrect information. And if you want even more qualified leads than people who just put their name, email, and phone number, if you think your leads are still bad, you can add more questions. So you can click on quick add and you can add something like, hey, have you had fillers in the past? When are you looking to get this procedure done? And any other question that you think, if this person answered these questions, they're going to be a lot better people to speak with on the phone. Now, always remember that if you add so many questions, people aren't even going to bother opting in. So you want to find the right balance that works for you. Then go ahead and click save in the top right. Now your form is made, you can close that tab. Then go back to your landing page so that we can add that form into the landing page. Refresh the page and then go ahead and add the lip filler form that you just created. And once that's done, that's everything you need to have a landing page. If you want, you can also add an image, but you don't have to. And the simpler your landing pages are, the easier they're going to be for the leads, which means you're going to get more conversions. Once you've connected your domain to that landing page, you can go ahead and click save and publish. Now that your domain and landing page are set up, go back to Facebook where we had to copy that code for the pixel. Copy it, go back to Go High Level, click back out from that landing page that we just made, click on Settings, beside Funnel, not the one in the bottom left, and where it says Head Tracking Code, go ahead and paste the pixel code in there. Then scroll down and hit Save. And that's going to connect your Facebook with that landing page that you just created. Since they're two separate entities, now they know they're connected. All right, now I'm going to show you how to get notified on your phone every time you get a new lead. And that starts with connecting your Facebook to Go High Level. So go back to Settings on the bottom left, scroll down to where it says Integrations, and click on where it says Connect Your Locations Facebook account. Then simply log in and you connected your Facebook to your Go High Level account. Now I'm going to show you how to set up a simple automation so that anytime someone opts into your landing page, you get a notification on your phone. So click back, click on Automation, then you want to create a workflow. Start from scratch. Now click on Trigger and look up Form Submitted. Then add a filter, click Form Is, then select the form that you just created. Then you can hit Save Trigger. All right, now that's a trigger and we want to get notified whenever that trigger is activated. So click on the plus and in the actions, search for notification. Then click Send Internal Notification. Any of these are fine, but I'm going to use SMS for this demonstration. And you can send that SMS to a custom number, put your phone number in there so that you get the text when there's a lead. For the message, you want to type something like new lip filler lead. And then I'm going to add in their name and their phone number so that I know who the lead is as soon as I get them. To get their name to pop up, click on custom values, that tag. Then go to contact and select full name. Then put a space after that and go back to contact. And this time click on phone. So now the notification is going to say new lip filler lead. It'll say their full name and it'll show their phone number. If you'd like to see if it's working, you could test it by putting your own phone number in there. Then you can just go ahead and hit save. By the way, when you do get these notifications, yes, they're going to come through SMS, but you don't actually want to contact these leads with your own personal phone number. You want to use the platform Go High Level, because apparently it's illegal if you contact leads with your own personal phone number. So use the conversations tab inside Go High Level. That will be available once you set up a phone number inside the platform. If you know that you're going to be on your phone most of the time, you can also get the app version of this, which is called Lead Connector. You can get that on Android and iPhone. Log in with the same details and you can manage all of your leads from there. All right, this is going to be the last step for the optimization. We're going to be setting up something called Conversion API. This is going to give you much better tracking, including things like who actually booked from your leads, because Facebook doesn't know who booked. They just know that you got leads if you don't do this, and also how much your leads are worth. So if you have different services and one of them has more valuable leads, it will try to get more of those people compared to the cheap people. So go back to your events manager on Facebook, click on settings, and keep scrolling until you see where it says Conversions API. Then click on Generate Access Token. It will give you a code that you can copy. Then go back to Go High Level. Then add another action after that notification that we just made, and you want to type in Facebook and click on the one that says Facebook Conversion API. Now it's going to ask you for the access token that you just copied. So go ahead and paste that into where it says access token. It's also going to ask for your Pixel ID. To get that, go back to the events manager, scroll all the way back up to where you see dataset ID, then go ahead and copy that and go back into Go High Level and paste it where it says Pixel ID. Now the last thing is the value. You could leave it empty if you want, but if you know the price that that lead is going to pay if they buy, you can go ahead and put that into the value. So if I'm selling lip filler and a lead is going to be worth 500, I'll go ahead and put that into the value. Then hit save action, then hit save again at the top. So to explain what this automation that we made does, it means every time you get a lead, you're going to get a text message notification, and Facebook is going to track that lead as someone who is worth, in this case, $500. So we've just optimized these 3 things to fix your issue of getting a lot of bad leads. We set up a Facebook pixel to track the leads for your landing page. We set up a website to host that landing page with Go High Level, and we now have a place to contact those leads, which is going to be the conversations tab within Go High Level or Lead Connector if it's on your phone. So that's how to optimize your campaigns to fix those common issues. And with the optimization being covered, that's actually everything that we're going to be covering for this Meta Ads Masterclass. Now, the reality is, whether you've been advertising for a day or for a decade, there's always going to be more to learn. But I hope this video was somewhat helpful for making you a better advertiser.